Hey, hello there. You know, sometimes I've noticed when I stream these videos that the very beginning is cut off, so I like to try to record a little bit of a buffer in the beginning, because it's weird. I'll go back and watch the stream and it'll be cut off in the very beginning. You may be wondering why I have all this extra gear on. It's because last night it got down in the 20s, actually, for the first time this year, I think. And I know what some of you northerners may be saying, or people that live in parts of the world where it's like snowing, right? It's like, oh, big deal, 20s, you know. It's 20 below where I live. I know that. But that being said, I got one glove on, and I can't really work the camera with my glove, because when you can't do touchscreen with a glove on. So I have one glove on, one glove off. Anyway, I realize that it's colder, a lot colder. We're in like a temperate zone where it's normally very warm, but I wanted to sort of explain a little bit about the Florida mindset. Let's take a look at where we are right now. This is sort of the downtown area of Sarasota. This would be like the county building right there. Like that big tall building is the county something building. One of the administration, or maybe it's the city. I can't remember. It's where you get your license tags and stuff. A lot of business, financial banks in this area, and there's a historic. That's a historic building that the Ringling Brothers actually, I believe, had built. This tannish one right there with the little red roofy thing. That's actually a historic building. A lot of the areas right here are where malls are, and Wells Fargo Bank. Kind of the center of town in a way. Probably in the center of town. I'm on this is a rooftop. Not a rooftop. It's a rooftop garage parking. Kind of, you can get a really good view of the city. There's not many spots downtown where you can actually get on top of a building and look around, so it's kind of cool to come up here and just peer around. You can get a good layout of the city. This would be the main street here, considered probably the most center part of town. You've got banks and churches and businesses. This big glass building is Wells Fargo. This is a one-time mall over here. It's kind of picturesque in a way. So anyway, I'm not making a big deal out of the, let me see what's going on the camera here. I'm not making a big deal out of the weather, except for us as Floridians. You gotta understand, we're like, I was gonna say like penguins, but we're like, we're alligators. We don't do well in the cold. Alligators do not like cold, and manatees do not like cold, and that's why they hang out in the Florida, southern regions of the United States, because we're not acclimated to this type of weather, basically. And my house is not insulated, believe it or not. And then you guys say to yourself, why don't you have insulation? Well, because the thinking in Florida is we only have maybe 2 months of bad weather. You know, considering, 30s, 40s, maybe the maximum temperature. We never really get down in Florida. You'd never have temperatures in the teens. It would be really catastrophic if we ever had a temperature that was like 10 degrees. I think everybody would freak out. Some houses have heaters and or fireplaces, and some don't. I have space heaters, the ones you plug in. Some older homes actually have fireplaces, and some newer homes, but it's like almost like a decoration. It's not something that's actually needed. I think when my house was built in the 50s, we actually had an oil heater, which was one of those things where you had like kerosene or something, and it had like a little barrel in the middle, and you throw, my dad used to throw lit newspaper in there and light it, and then the kerosene would, I'm not really sure about how that works, would like drip in there or spray in there, and it would keep the fire burning, and we'd have like a central thing. But that was only on those nights that it was, like I said, it's like in the 30s or 40s overnight where the whole house would get cold. We didn't have space heaters back when I was a wee lad. We didn't have a space heater. I think everybody else did, but we used to get the fire going and heat up the house, but didn't do much for the bedrooms. Anyway, just a little background there. So anyway, it actually snowed in Sarasota, Sarasota is about midway down Florida on the west coast. It actually snowed here. You can see there's a lot of traffic, but there's not that many people walking. Like, a lot of people like to walk downtown. There's a lady right there. She knows it's cold. And there's a lady on the corner down there you might be able to see. But like normally in this area you'd have people walking for exercise or something. That's what I'm going to be doing in a few minutes. And today I think a lot of people have decided maybe not to go look for exercise. Let's walk over this way. I did decide. I think it's about 45 right now. Like, I always look on my phone to see what the temperature is. And my phone, like, you have a temperature on your home screen on your phone, and it will say like 61 or something. It's like way off. I don't know where that comes from. And then I've got an app, some kind of weather bug app thing that says, you know, like it's like 46 or 45 or something. And I don't know if that's dead on. I need to get a temperature at my house so I can actually get a realistic temperature, because I don't trust any kind of app weather stuff, because it seems like it's way off, or it's like it's always lagging behind an hour or something. So anyway, when I was in elementary school, this is the story. When I was in elementary school, it got very cold and the conditions were just right. When I was in 3rd grade at Alta Vista Elementary School, it actually snowed during the afternoon when we were in school. And I guess it was really brief. It was a brief snow. And some of the kids were let out, but we didn't know anything about it. As I can remember, this is way, way back in the day. It was just a brief thing. It wasn't like it snowed and there was snow on the ground where it, you know, settled. It was just cold enough for some small flakes, I think, to come down. And classmates of mine were able to go out, like in a, like say I was like in 3rd grade and there was another class next door to us. They got let out, but our teacher or something didn't let us out and we didn't get to see the snow. And I was very disappointed that it actually snowed. And it took like another 10 years for it to snow again. It has not snowed, that in my experience, that I've ever seen in probably about 20 years. I think, as you people that live in the climate know, it takes the right, I think, the right amount of weather conditions for it to snow. Like right now it's very dry here. So I think you have to have moisture for it to form snow and all that. It has to be the right amount of conditions for the snow factor. It's very dry out. Like this morning there was no ice on the grass, or there was no, like I said, it was basically freezing temperatures this morning. It was in the 30s and there was no ice, or what am I trying to say? Frost. There's no frost on the car. Like sometimes we've had it to where we've had deep frost in the cars, and it's pretty rare. It has to be really cold and it has to be humid. But anyway, so it snowed in the 3rd grade, and then I remember right around 1986 or 87, it was right on Christmas Eve, and it snowed, and it was like just getting dark around 6 or 7 o'clock. And it snowed, and we went outside, and there was these little tiny flakes. Where am I going over here? Little tiny flakes, and they settled on the car, and it built up on the car hood, and it was just enough that you could pick it up and make a little snowball. And the reason why it's significant is because my parents did not like to travel up north during the winter time, so I never really got to see snow as a kid. But as a teenager, we went to Pennsylvania and Philadelphia, and I think it snowed very lightly at that time. I'm trying to think of when that was. It must have been in the summertime, but it was still cold enough. I don't know. I'm a little confused about that timing thing. I thought it was summer, and then it got really cold, but that doesn't make any sense, does it? That it would be snowing in the summer. So it must have been some kind of spring break, or I don't know, Christmas break maybe. So I got to see snow then falling, but like I said, it was a big deal. Now you people up north and in those cold areas get to see snow, and then you get sick of it, and it's fun to play for like a while, I guess, but after a couple months of snowing, then it starts to suck. I understand that. Just like it gets really hot here, and then it gets hot for like 6 months, and then you get really tired of that kind of warmth. Gets old after a while when it's like 90 degrees every single day and you're sweating. You walk out in the street for 5 seconds and it's sweating. So yeah, it has snowed in Florida on very weird times. I was kind of hoping for a little bit of frost just so we could get a touch of that, winter feel. It's been, I would say, more cold than last year, generally speaking, where we've had a lot of days where it's been in the 40s and 50s in like an afternoon. It's about 12 noon right now, and it's been, especially like the last 2 weeks, I would say, we've had a lot of cold, extreme cold as Florida temperatures. Like I said, last week it was probably about 78 degrees during the daytime. So if you jump from 45 to 75, that's a 30 degree difference is a huge amount, where 75 is really sunny and warm and you're actually sweating. And then you go to this cold temperature, it's kind of a tough transition to go up and down, because as soon as this blows through, it'll probably be back in the 70s again, or possibly even a high in the 80s, like 82, 83 degrees, which is an extreme jump back and forth. It messes with your sinuses and your head and stuff, all that cold. But you guys know that. So anyway, I just wanted to share kind of a funny story about the time that actually snowed in Florida on those rare times. I kind of wish I had pictures of that. I think it was like 2 weeks ago when we first had that first cold front go through. It actually snowed like in Tallahassee in Florida. There it's actually snowing there, so it actually got cold enough up North Florida, but not here. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that quick story time. I'm going to attempt to jog down the street without freezing. I'm probably going to have to wear gloves too. Oh, somebody just commented. Hello. Hey, Chocolate Mint, how are you? Nice to see you. Are you keeping warm? I can't remember if you live in Florida or not, but anyway, if you do live in Florida, you know what I'm talking about as far as 45 degrees at noon. It tends to be a little bit more chilly than we're used to. Anyway, I hope you're doing well, Chocolate Mint, and everybody in the YouTube community. Has anybody been following the Logan Paul thing where he got in trouble for showing a dead person and all that? I just curious if anybody's seen that. Anyway, I'm going to sign off here in about 2 minutes. You know, it's actually a beautiful sunny day, despite it being like super cold. So it's not all dreary, and the days where it's cloudy and stuff, it's really a drag. Cloudy and cold, but it's sunny and cold, so it's fun to get out and exercise outside. Anyway, I'm gonna go, you guys. Hope you enjoyed that little thing. Now if I can see, you know, the thing that the X they put in here to end the live stream is really tiny, and like when it's sunny out, yeah, very cold for you guys too, yeah. But luckily it will be probably warming up in a day or two. I'm gonna go. I hope everybody's good. I got some things in the work, some things in the work. What does that even mean? I've got some plans in the works to do some more adventure type vlogs and go out and do stuff. I just haven't got there yet. So hopefully when this weather gets just a tad warmer, I may do some kayaking pretty soon and do some of that kind of stuff. Oh, thank you very much. Reading messages on the screen. Anyway, I will say goodbye and say stay warm. I hope you guys are all doing well. I'm going to sign off. I told you, like, my eyesight is bad, so it's hard for me to see what these emojis are and stuff. But thank you for commenting and watching. See you guys later. I'm going to sign off. Hopefully it will stop now. Yes. See you guys later.